is Agbon. And the program Ground Zero today is one where we'll be looking at this very important issue that's been a problem to most Nigerians, and that's the issue of the student loan and what is coming out from it and how people are reacting to it. That's what we'll be looking at on the program today. But meanwhile, already seated in the studio, I have my guests, and together we'll be looking at all of these. I have Daniel Buluson. He is a legal practitioner and also a gentleman that has done so many stuff in respect of empowering young legal practitioners. He is the publisher of The Young Wigs, and it's a thematic publication that is dealing in and around the legal profession and stuff like that. He'll tell us more about that. And I also have with me one of our regulars on the program in the person of Zwahu Yanwaidi. And together on the program this evening, we'll be looking at this very, very important thing that has got to do with the future generation. And when we are talking about the future generation, what really readily comes to our mind is the youths, the younger persons, the ones that we are looking up to as being those that will step in by the time this generation moves out. Of course, that's talking about our generation, because I'm part of that generation that will be stepping and moving in by all standards. Because if in the past a 72-year-old man can be a youth leader in a particular political party, then that's still like 20 years older than me. So in short, I'm still a tata. So, gentlemen, Daniel Buluson, you are welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
And also, Zwahu Yanwaidi, you are welcome to Ground Zero.
Thank you indeed. Thank you.
Okay, and on the program, like I said, this evening, we shall be looking at Student Loan Act, terms and conditions, and of course, who qualifies for it. That's on one hand, while we are also looking at the implications of the federal government withdrawal from funding university education in Nigeria. And to be part of the program, you can join Procyon Radio and Television on any of the social media handles. Just look for ProcyonRTV, and you'll be able to get us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Of course, you can watch us live on YouTube as the program is ongoing. And at some point, we'll open up the phone lines for you to drop your comments and observations. And of course, you'll have the opportunity of also getting us through, you have the opportunity of watching or listening to us on the Procyon Radio and TV app. You can get the app if you go to Google Play Store. Just look for Procyon Radio and TV and download the app. You'll be able to see us and listen to us more easily on the program. Now, let's get some little background on what we'll be looking at on the program this evening, starting first with the Student Loan Act. And just a little background, because my guests are the ones that really do the talking and analysis, but just to give you a heads up so you understand what it's all about. And of course, we know that President Bola Tinubu last week, upper week, signed into law a bill to provide interest-free education loan for Nigerians willing to acquire tertiary education. That's the summary of everything that we are talking about. And of course, for those that qualify for it, there are terms and conditions that they need to meet, which includes the fact that you must get, is it one or two directors? Two guarantors at grade level 12 and above to guarantee you. And your parents must not earn up to 500,000 naira per annum, meaning that if you break it down, both parents, everything put together, should be less than 41,000 in a month, and the fact that their tax clearance for 3 years or so, their tax obligations must be up to date, and the fact that you are to start paying back after 2 years or pay up after 2 years and all of that.
After NYC.
After NYC.
Yes. 2 years after NYC.
2 years after NYC. Okay. And basically, broadly, this all it's all about. But for many people that have called Ground Zero and wanted to get more details in respect of this particular loan, they had their concerns, which I am sure in the course of the program, when we open up the phone lines, they will start to call in and give us their concerns in respect of the student loan and how they feel or think that they'll be able to easily acquire it, or how difficult it would be for them. That's on one hand. Just as we were still trying to wrap our heads around that, information came out now that the federal government was going to withdraw all fundings of tertiary education in Nigeria, and that further heightened the stress and tension of those that have children that are already in the higher institution or still going to be in the higher institution. Because what that means is that maybe some schools that before now we are paying around 100,000 may have to be tuition fees per session may be paying close to or more than 500,000 per session. If at this level they are finding it hard to send their children to school, how easily would it be for them to do? Not forgetting that the cost of living all around in Nigeria has gone up with the removal of fuel subsidy. Of course, the cost of moving has almost quadrupled in Nigeria. And of course, that would have its backlash effect on the cost of education as it were, even if nothing was removed by the federal government and all of that. This is the reason why it has become a talking point for us, and the reason why we are in the studio this evening to look at all of these. First of all, I'd like to go to Barrister Daniel Buluson. I read a wonderful piece that you wrote recently, and I think some angles that I never knew existed in respect of these student loans, I saw it, and I want you to, in brief, tell us about generally what it is and how we can get access to it and all that we need to know, in brief.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege and honor to be with you once again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But sir, before I start, I would like to say that I don't work for the government, neither am I a spokesperson of the government. But even if you support one particular aspirant and another aspirant becomes the president of the country, you do not cease to become a Nigerian.
Yeah.
Now, upon assumption of office, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu signed into law this Student Loan Act. And there has been criticism about it. You know, so many people saying for and against it. And the only thing I just decided to do that yesterday was to really educate people on what the law is all about. Instead of just standing aside and saying that, oh, following the social media and say, oh, they have passed the Student Loan Act, oh, they have mortgaged our future. What really do you really know about the law? In now jurisprudence, you test the law by practicalizing it. When the law comes into effect, you don't just stand and let the law just stay docile and dormant. You have to test that law. What that means now is that they have already provided certain eligibility standards, certain requirements for certain indigent. And let's not forget, the word indigent means people who are not well-to-do, people who cannot afford certain basic things. So this law is trying to say, okay, my own understanding of it, this law is trying to say that, okay, since these people cannot afford certain things, let us remove this cost or this burden of educating their children in tertiary institution. Now, it will shock you to know that at least 25% of our 260 million Nigerians make up from 15 to 29 years. And those are the ages that are eligible for entering into a tertiary institution and also graduating from a tertiary institution. Now, if you look at least 25% of 260 million Nigerians, you're talking about 55 million Nigerians. Yeah. 55 million Nigerians are supposed to be in tertiary institutions. But what we have today is where 600,000 people graduate from tertiary institution every year. And this is poor. It can't help the country. You cannot be the future of the country if you're not educated. I understand that so many businessmen will say, why not go do business? Why not do this? But education ordinarily is the bedrock for anything you want to do. So I feel that that law was passed down or was signed into law so that we can reduce this humongous number of people outside the schooling environment. That's what I feel the law is all about. And so what I just did yesterday was juxtapose the law, bring out all the provisions of the law, and put it down in the layman language so that every student of polytechnic, every secondary student, or anybody in the university can actually understand this law and now say, okay, this is what this law is talking about. Then the criticisms can come out. You have to test something first before you know how to expand it. If something is passed into law, you don't test it, you don't find its weaknesses, you don't find his loopholes, then how do the government itself work on that thing that they have brought? Even our 99 Constitution has been amended several times to where we are today. Even our Electoral Act has been amended several times to where we are today. Why did we come about those amendments? Because first, we first tested what was provided. When we realized that, okay, it was not working in this particular place, it is not working in this particular place, then they amend the law. So what I'm saying now is that the president has given directives that this thing should kick off by the 2023-2024 academic section. My own plea now to Nigerian students is that we should try as much as possible to key into these things so that when you're talking tomorrow outside, you say, I tried applying, I had a problem here. I tried applying. When I got to the bank, this is what the bank was telling me. I tried applying. When I met the VC, because the VC and the student affairs officer must give you a cover letter. He must give you a cover letter. The VC must give you a cover letter. The student affairs officer must give you a cover letter to attach to your application, which must be done through the bank. So there are so many things that are involved, but I just don't want us to stand on the sideline and throw out the baby with the bathwater. That's the essence why I actually published that article yesterday.
All right. Thank you so very much for that insight that you've given to our viewers and listeners, and also coming to look at the student loan, as it were, and the act that is backing it, and the fact that accessing it now, apart from just applying, there are some other conditions that students must meet, which I outlined some of them earlier, which includes you must have two guarantors. Your both parents must earn less than 500,000.
Or you as an individual.
Or you as an individual must earn less than 500,000 per annum, and all of that. Now, how easy will it be for an average Nigerian whose parents earn less than 500,000 to get a guarantor that is willing to guarantee him in our climes now, knowing our peculiar way and our nature, where unfortunately both immediate and extended family members have a sense of entitlement, and naturally whoever would have qualified to guarantee would feel that, oh, these guys are having a sense of entitlement. They are not ever going, they will never be willing, they will never be ready, they don't have the intention of even paying up when it's time to pay up. Many people may want to share. Well, let's come to Zwahu. Give us your perspective. I know some weeks back you gave us a little hint.
Thank you once again, Ahiz, for having me on the program. Education is expensive anywhere, okay? And we have been getting next to free education generally in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if it costs typically market price, and I'm talking as someone who has some basic understanding of economics. Of course, you know that I did economics in the university. You know, it's market. I mean, you need this, you go for it, you pay for it. If it is 1,000 naira, and then someone says, but you go to the seller, and the seller says, you are going to get it, I'm going to give it to you at 200 naira. Then there is someone subsidizing the thing for you to be able to get it. You get what I'm talking about, okay? We are coming back to this whole issue of subsidy. Okay, the fact is that the Nigerian state has been subsidizing education for Nigerians.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the reality. Now, and that is by way of funding education in Nigeria. Okay, now, over time, public education system in Nigeria has continued to go down. Okay, public education in Nigeria has continued to go down from basic education up to tertiary education. Now, I'm not sure that any of us here has their children in public schools, in the early age schools, even though these are the kinds of schools that we went to.
Yeah.
Okay, secondary school, government secondary school, whatever. Most of us do not have our children in those kinds of schools. So, what is happening is that we have decided to reject the government subsidy of education, okay, because we do not think that the right quality is being derived from this public education.
Yeah.
Perhaps government is not funding it enough, and so we think we should go elsewhere to look for education, and therefore, and many of us whose children are in the tertiary institutions, okay, are not even in public universities. Most of us prefer that our children will go to private universities because you have a smooth running calendar, and we are doing a lot of acrobatics to be able to pay the school fees from basic to tertiary institutions. Now, you begin to see some of the push and pull factors, or push factors, to corruption the way we have it today. Now, you have someone who is grade level 12 in the civil service. How much is his salary? He's expected to pay about 3 million naira per annum for his child in secondary, in the university, in a tertiary institution. A lot of things are going to happen for him to be able to raise that amount of money. Okay, because he needs the quality of education that is deserving for his child. So these are the realities. Otherwise, he can decide to go to the public institutions. I'm going through this long process, okay, so that we wrap our heads around this issue. So if we do not pay, if the per annum education at whatever level costs 1,000 naira, and someone says we should go and pay 200 naira, then somebody is subsidizing somewhere. It is either the government is subsidizing, or the school is subsidizing, or in fact, all the teachers in the school are subsidizing by not being paid the amount that they should ordinarily be paid. Or the children themselves are subsidizing by not getting the quality of education. That's the cost. Okay? So, at some level, this education has to cost 1,000 naira, either plus or minus. Somebody will pay for it. That's the reality. So we have reached the point, and one of the costs of this education not reaching 1,000 naira, for example, in the tertiary institutions, is the endless strikes that we keep having. Because our professors in the universities are saying that, look, the schools are not being funded well enough. We are not being paid like our counterparts elsewhere in the world, and all of these things. So that's where we have found ourselves. Now, the government of Tinubu has come out with this policy. The belief is that it is through this policy that it is going to fund the universities. So gradually, free education is going. And look at it really. We have medical doctors. We train medical doctors at next to no cost. At next to no cost in this country, only for them to graduate and go and work in Egypt, and go and work in Saudi Arabia, go to Canada, or go to the United Kingdom and work. You get the point. So we are hemorrhaging in this country. Even the little that we have, that we are putting only for our products to finish from school and then go elsewhere and begin to service some other economies. There is no economy that will survive, under such circumstances. Now, this policy came up. One thing that makes me think that this policy that the Tinubu administration was too hasty with this policy is even the ceiling earning of the applicants and their families.
Yeah, 500,000.
500,000. Now it makes me to say, why are you talking about 500,000? You are telling me that between me and my wife, okay, we should not earn more than 41,000 naira in a month. Who can survive on that amount of money in Nigeria today? Okay, it makes me to think, where is this coming from? Where it is coming from is the fact that this act or this bill was proposed to the National Assembly in 2016. Okay, so it took the period of 7 years for it to pass. I don't know when it passed in the National Assembly, but then
to where it got to where it is
till when the president assented to it today. So perhaps before the president would have assented to it, he should have said, no, look at it very well, go back, review it based on prevailing economic reality.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in fact, even by the time that you remove, even before removing the oil subsidy, okay, in fact, fuel subsidy, you should have even reviewed some details here, but you didn't review it. So that begins to make me have some anxiety towards the whole thing. How well thought out was it by this government, particularly? Okay. Now, anyway, yeah.
You know, Nigeria is a complex country. You know.
Yeah.
Nigeria is a complex country whereby, for you to bring about change, you have to use certain methods to actually actualize it. That's the country that we are now. Now look at what you're saying. You're saying that as of the time this bill had gotten down from when it started,
introduced
from when
in
it was
2016,
maybe 500,000 would have covered the middle class.
Yeah.
Maybe 500.
At
that time,
reasonably.
yes, would have covered the middle class. You know, but right now, the middle class now has been exempted from the Student Loan Act.
Well, what we call the middle class.
We don't know if it still exists. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I agree with you totally. But you see, like I was saying something, you see the problems of Nigeria, it's more than meets the eye. It is easier for us to say, no, they would have done this. No, they would have done this. But I'm saying now, particularly, from the fuel subsidy down to the Student Loan Act, you know, it gives opportunity for us to begin to test the system. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you get me. It can't come out perfectly at once. Even if they had reviewed it and they had gone back and it had come out, the same issues we're still having today, you understand, we'll still be talking about it. And that law will still remain in the pipeline while certain parents will be bearing the burden of how to take their children to school. Let's not forget now that the public school itself is losing its relevance. First, because of ASU strike. Second, because of the quality of the education. Now,
that anybody that is not in the public
school
education
I don't know if you
cannot
understand.
access
So
this.
I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from. So now it encourages you now, who feels that, okay, my financial burden cannot take care of it. And there's a particular phrase that keep coming in. Even if the individual, you keep missing that part. It says either the person or
the individual.
You understand? It mustn't be the parent as a whole collective. You as an applicant.
No,
now,
but they are going to do an audit of your parents.
No. You as an individual, for example, there are people who are working as secretaries who have left secondary school and are earning less than 30,000 naira in a month. And those people, I have them who have decided to further their education by going to Kaduna.
This act does not provide.
No, let me show you.
It doesn't provide.
Let me show you. It's
No.
provided in the law.
This act does not. It provides for parents. Forget about those people who probably are working already. Okay?
Let me read a bit.
Forget about
an applicant or his parent.
That is where I'm coming from. An applicant
provide tax clearance. This is not totally bad.
You understand?
Then an applicant or his parent must be earning total income less than 500,000 a year.
Yes.
So why are you excluding the applicants now?
No. Knock off. Keep aside the people who are working, whatever kind of work, okay, and are earning less than that. Keep them aside. Talk about those 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds who write JAMB immediately.
Most of them are not working.
They are not working, only naturally.
Are you saying that? What's our minimum wage?
Wait. You consider their parents.
Yes.
Okay, you consider their parents. How many people work within the government sector? In Nigeria, what is the percentage of the population?
Less than 13% of the total workforce.
The total workforce,
Yes, they are
in government. So they are the ones that are qualified for minimum wage. So the moment you are getting 45,000 naira put together, the parents, you are getting 45,000 naira or 50,000 naira per month, you are automatically out of.
Excluded.
So that's what I'm saying. That I'm not saying I like that this is the direction we are moving. Okay, because look, we have gotten too used to free things. We have gotten too used to free things in Nigeria that we do not even see responsibility. You go to primary schools, you see parents, they just send their children to public primary school. I was talking with some people, I said that, look, that free education is the worst policy, that we have today in Nigeria. Because if I remove, even if it is 500 naira and I pay for my child, or 1,000 naira and I pay for my child, I will follow to see what that 1,000 naira.
I beg to differ a little bit.
No. Well.
You know why I want to differ? Maybe it depends on the environment. Like in the southwestern part of the country, it's basically free education in public schools, out to even till today. Luckily for me,
Primary or down.
I left Kano State to Ogun State for my secondary education.
No, we're not talking about our time. One of us
I'm coming to today because I still have folks that have kids down south.
Right.
My alma mater, Baptist West High School, is a public school. They still have free education there. They can tell you they can rival any of the Ivy League secondary schools there. And even now, if you check the recent results from WAEC and JAM, most of the public schools had the best result down south. Maybe the environment where we are up north here, where maybe
let's
not deviate from the point. The point I try to make, okay, because the
what do you understand by indigent? Sorry, let me just know.
No, indigent is somebody who is not able to take care of himself. It is very, very clear. But does a two-parent home that earns around 41,000 naira, okay, it is obviously indigent.
Yes.
Even a two-parent home that earns 100,000 naira is pretty much indigent.
Yes.
But you have knocked off, and that's why I'm saying that what is the level of thinking? I hope we are not making haste too fast.
To adopt, to sign and adopt this.
And I understand where you are coming from, that look, we have to just start this journey.
Yes.
Okay? I understand your argument. We just have to start this journey and then we panel beat ourselves, you know, into line. But there is a saying in Latin, festina lente, make haste slowly. Okay? It helps. If not, we may just hit the rock. And I mean the hard place, and we are not able to go, and then we sit down and see, oh, this thing has failed. Whereas it is possible for it not to fail. It is a very simple thing. I've come in, I am determined to do this. Please review it. Some of these metrics that you have used to capture this law from the beginning, they do not hold water now. Okay, fine.
No, but you see,
I have no problem with that.
Yes, you see, okay, I don't know. You see what I'm saying, but you, like I said earlier on, your opinions are germane. Like, they are very, very important and useful. They are germane, to be honest with you. But what then do we do with a bill that is now already a law? Do we just leave it? That's where I'm coming from.
When did it become a law?
It became a law June 12th.
June 12th.
So what are you saying now? Are you saying that because of the loopholes in it, should we just leave it?
No, it gives me, I have a foreboding.
Yes.
Okay, I have a foreboding.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Okay?
Yeah.
I like the idea. There are also many other issues around it, which I'm interested in raising. I like the idea of student loan. Okay? The question is, how well is it going to be administered?
Sustainable.
No, not even sustainability. The sustainability factor has been built into it. Okay? The sustainability factor has been built into it. It's going to raise funds from taxes, you know, 1% of taxes, 1% of receipts from customs, 1% of receipts from immigration, okay, all of those things, and they are
sundry sources.
The sundry sources. They are and also grants and other stuff. Okay, that's where. So that's the sustainability factor. But and then there is a committee that is going to be special committee that is going to be domiciled in the CBN. CBN again. Okay, you are bringing it.
And the central bank government is to chair.
That committee
because it's the custodian of the funds.
Yeah, it's the custodian of the funds. All of that. Okay, that's the sustainability. But
You're saying that we have exempted a major percentage of Nigerians who should benefit from
that.
Student yes, I get your point, which is also true.
Yes,
which is true.
So are they going back to the National Assembly to do an amendment?
That's what I'm saying now. You see,
why do you have to do an amendment of something that you could have just held back a little and then reviewed it, updated it, okay, before you go? Why do we waste time?
You are listening to Ground Zero, and it's coming to you on Procyon Radio and Television. And very soon we will take a short break. But before we take that break, I want Dangwa Abbas to be on hold for 1 minute. Just be on hold for 1 minute. Danjuma Dangwa, just be on hold for 1 minute. I'll come to you. We want to quickly take a commercial timeout, and after that commercial timeout, we'll come to you. But meanwhile, before we take that commercial timeout, we start the commercial from here. Still in line with education, our program Ayimbo Undi Igbo is an Igbo socio-cultural program where that comes up at 8 a.m. every day of the week on Procyon Radio. And the anchor of the program, Mazi Uche Ijegalo, in collaboration with Procyon Radio and Television, is starting an Igbo language classes. He's going to give us more details. You do that in Igbo and, of course, English and Pidgin English. Quickly, after it will link up with Nifemi to give us commercial. But hold on 1 minute, let's take this message. Mazi, over to you.
All right, good evening, listeners. Like he said, my name is Mazi Uche Ijegalo. He just told you the truth. We are about starting Igbo language class this Saturday here in Genie Schools.
Advert.
Okay.
Advert already.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
She should have waited for
After the advert, then you come in.
No problem. No problem.
She should have waited for instruction.
Let's see.
Somebody said try joining, but the server isn't connecting.
Hello, sir. You introduced him. She didn't take that.
No problem, I'll do that.
Madam.
Also,
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
give me your system. My system has gone offline just now. .9 FM, and it's a production of Procyon Radio and Television. And this evening, we are basically looking at the education loan and how Nigerians are coping with it. Before we took that respect of the...
At Genie School by Mozambique Road, through the pump 2, 087671.
Give them.
We are starting with this Igbo language. I'm affaire race. I am on a million chana banya. One nwoke bụ Maazị Uche Ijegalụ na-achọ ibido ịkụzi Igbo Satọde a na-abịa. Satọde niile ka anyị gara eme ofu awa site n'elekere nke 10 ntị. Enweta anyị na 081227671
0809-799-1989. All right, the numbers to that is 0809. Let's hear from the people. The program is Ground Zero and it's coming to you on Invicta 98.9 FM. And of course, it's on the program this evening. I have Daniel Buluson and Zwahu Yanwaidi with me in the studio. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. You are welcome to the program. What is your name and where are you calling us from?
No interest in the very malleable decision to have this law for students.
All right.
The issue is not whether the law be available or not to be available. It's a conflict. That is where the headache is. Because if I recall what is happening in the U.S. with student loans, in fact, the case has gone back to the House, to the captives in the U.S. So the conflict is the main problem.
Okay.
So I think the law thing is a very valuable subject. And we should be acquired skills, and there are other things to do with one sector.
All right. 0809-464-6206 and 0809-799-1989 are the numbers to dial to be with us on the program this evening.
Yeah.
All right, we have another caller. Hello, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, good evening, analyst in the house. Good evening.
All right, Mr. Kure, you're welcome.
You see, I hate Tinubu for signing that into law. But at the end of the day, the common man that is at the receiving end. My reason is very simple. Why bringing such a condition? We have left war over 8 years now. So who will I get that will guarantee me my daughter to get that scholarship? If you want to help, just help. Anybody that is qualified, look academically and give him that loan. This is there is time to pay it back. But the reverse is the case. All those conditions is just to disqualify the common man. But God will see us.
And that is the fact that it is not everybody that must have a university education or a tertiary education. Okay, there are, look, if you go to Europe and drive the Lamborghinis and Jaguars, they are tradesmen.
Yeah.
Okay, they are plumbers, they are electricians, they are masons, and so the thing is, where is our trades education? Okay, of course, the JSS system 6334 system at the beginning was conceived to be able to take care of that, so that by the time a student is finishing JSS, he or she has a trade that he or she can, go into and survive. But we have jettisoned all of that. But it is possible for us to bring that back so that people can train. Even if you are a graduate or whatever, today I'm a graduate, I do not have a job, I can go and learn plumbing, okay? I can go and be an electrician and all of that. By the time I learn this, I am earning good money, okay? And let entry into these practices be standardized, okay? Let entry into these practices be standardized. Not everybody must have university education. But then again, I also argue concerning this policy, what is the quality of education we are getting in our public universities that we are having to go and struggle to get these loans? Okay, and by the time we finish and we have our certificates, what jobs are there out there? You are supposed to begin paying. A lot of people have finished university 10 years after NYSC. They are still roaming the streets. Okay, so I'm not hearing from the government industry stimulants, okay, that will stimulate industry across the country, so that people, there are small-scale industries, different things that the moment people finish from universities or finish their education, they have jobs that they can begin and therefore begin to pay for these loans. So we are coming back to the issue that America is facing today, student loan debts, okay, loan debts in America. And the major reason why they are facing that problem in America today is because a lot of their jobs have been shipped to India, to China, you know, and all of that. So they are suffering the problem. We even do not have, we have lost a lot of things. A lot of companies have left Nigeria to Ghana, to Benin Republic, to other, you know, neighboring countries because they cannot operate here. First of all, lack of power and lack of fair environment for them to be able to exist or to operate competitively. Okay, so let us see the politics on ground that will help. Anyway, let's see how these things will pan out. But I think that it was a bit in a hurry. I don't know if the 24th session is ripe for us to begin operationalizing this act. But I don't know what the lawyer thinks. He says
let's quickly have your angle to all of this discussion. Danjuma, are you with us? Hello? Oh, there.
Oh. You see, we have to insist on our public education standard going up, not going down. Education, it includes vocational institutions and it includes other things apart from a university.
Maybe we should couch it by saying not everybody must have a degree.
And but you could have, you see, you could go to your science and tech where the government provides you the facilities for you to go and do nursing. You see, from your secondary school, we have taken the system, our educational system has a good structure on paper. I just believe that it is the implementation of all these things that has brought us to where we are. Now, the ASU strike, the ASUP and the ASU strike that you're getting are having because of payments of salaries. People are feeling that they are entitled to certain things and structure and develop the labs and develop the equipment. That's what I'm saying now, that by removing the subsidy, opening a student loan for people to now be able to afford this education from their pockets, you're giving the government avenue. These people, okay, is it the ASU strike or the ASU strike? Okay, I can now have sufficient resources in my coffers and say, okay, you take. Then I can have sufficient resources to work on the university. Now, you're saying that it is too quick.
I'm going to help him.
No, when you remove the burden of subsidy from education, for example, I subsidize half of your school fees for you, and I'm still paying your lecturers for your school fees. There's a lot of burden. Now I remove your subsidy from the education, and I say to you,
you are double counting.
Wait, I'm coming. Let me just land so that you understand where I'm coming from. I now say you pay your education. If tertiary education in government school is 100 naira, and your parent cannot afford 100 naira, go to the Student Loan Act and get 100 naira to pay your school fees. Then thereby me now, who is the government now has the financial strength to pay your salaries of those who's going to lecture you, to work on your theaters, to work on your labs, and to give you a standard education. That's where my point is coming from. Now, you see, when you say too hasty, I'm to hear about that has not gone through Naira Fire Brigade approach. That has been our system. Why now change it because it has now got? Tell me now that because only 5%, I'm just using imaginary percentage now. You can't tell me now that because only 5% or only 10% of people now are eligible to apply for this Student Loan Act that we should start using it. No, I won't agree with that. I will agree that the figure can be taken a step higher when those who are eligible at the moment now begin to apply for this loan, begin to assess these loans. Then we can now take the peg.
I'm not sure you got the point I make. Okay. When metrics as little as 500,000 naira annual salary are not being considered, it gives me the impression that there are lots of other things. You understand? Yeah. I'm not saying that we should not continue, but I'm saying that if as little as that, the amount that was used to propose it in 2016, 7 years ago, and quite done that, I'm wondering what is the level of thinking that has gone. A lot of dynamics have changed. Forget about, not even talking about the money dynamics and stuff. Social and cultural dynamics have changed. So have you reconsidered some of these things? If you have delayed this for like 1 month or whatever, well, I also see that this is a difficult thing. So let's just ram it through and then get it. Maybe it's a policy implementation direction.
Out of time just when the program was beginning to get very interesting, but quickly before we come and say our final goodbyes, quickly just one more time do this so that we can come back to the program, the training. When is it starting off?
All right, like I said before, my name is Zwahu Yanwaidi. The Igbo language class is starting this Saturday at Genius 807671.
Again?
08122807671.
All right. Thank you so very much. We are also going to put a post up on our various social media handles and, of course, on the Procyon News website in respect of this training. We'll come back to the studio and give our parting shot, if possible, in 30 seconds.
Along with this student loan ad, I want to see the blueprint of improving public tertiary institutions. Okay, raise the quality, make it competitive. Make our universities, all the Ahmadu Bello universities, OAU, University of Ife, UI, BUK, make them competitive so that we'll see students once again coming from, we schooled with South Africans, we schooled with Cameroonians, we schooled with Filipinos when we were in the university. We schooled with many people that came to Nigeria because of the quality. Of education. Now, nobody, even lecturers from down south, are finding it difficult to come up north here to teach because our university education administration is no longer competitive. If it is in Zaria, it is only with in Benin Republic. So we want our educational system to be competitive. Let us see government's blueprint. So because I cannot take loan and go and pay for substandard product. If I take a loan, I want to see the quality of the product. What you have not told us how you are improving the product that we are going to be paying.
Barrister Buluson, your parting shot, if possible, 30 seconds.
Yes. You see, my own problem is that it's about how students can access these loans. The accessibility of these loans should be encouraged. The VCs, the rectors, the student affairs officers, the banks, whoever it is that is going to be responsible for making these loans scale through should not give the students bottlenecks. And that's where I really want.
Let me know your thoughts on that, because I'll sign up from Invicta and we'll continue. Listeners, if you can go to www.procyonnews.com, you can continue listening to the program. And for those that cannot, who want to say, join us tomorrow. You'll be able to listen to .com. My name is Ehis Adbon. I say a very big thank you to the management and staff of Invicta FM. Not forgetting Wisdom Magulana and, of course, Nifemi Onibio that linked us up to the Invicta system. Of course, the production team here in Procyon News, Procyon Radio and Television. Invicta, thank you so very much. There are so many things you still want to tell us.
Yeah.
Let's go on. For the benefit of those watching us on YouTube, the program is still on. We are not ending the program yet.
You see, my own issue is accessibility to the loan. I don't know if you understand. And that's where I'm coming from, because we might be educated enough to have gone to law school and have experience on how to dissect this particular thing. But a student who is trying to apply for this loan, application letter to the CBN, am I going to do that? Since this thing has come out, it has to be seamless. I understand that, okay, many people are not coming on the burden of the... Because for you to start paying, then you must have done 2 years in NYSC, that's 5 years. We now put 2 years after... Sure. I don't know, but whatever it is, your recovery doesn't come into picture, sales takes into full effect. But what the 2023 till the next buzzing this already has a traffic of correspondences. The VC already has a gridlock of correspondences going to his offices. My own concern.
Well, I do not think that is going to be very much a problem, because these are
about that caller about recovery. They're really going to have an issue about recovery to 1991. Even in Canada and in the UK, their student loan debt as it stands like this now, recovery. But I believe that, like I said, moving forward, I hope we'll get it right.
And that is the prayer of every Nigerian. I guess we have to wrap it all up at this. Daniel Buluson, he's a legal practitioner and a gentleman, and always would be
A pleasure.
all right. And to Zwahu Yanwaidi, he is a media consultant and, of course, public affairs analyst. Zwahu, thank you so very much for having time to be on the program. And before I go once again, I'd like to give them the phone numbers to call you again for more information.
Yeah, the phone number is 081 2280 7671. The time is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Also, he said Adon, and of course, to Sarah Adon, the production team lead. I say very big thank you to you all. My name is Ehis Adon. I'll be here next week, Tuesday, for the program. Meanwhile, on Thursday, Power. It's a new one where we'll be talking about vulnerable communities and how they will be able to get a head start and survival tips, and how generally they will be able to weather the tide that's presently befalling many of our Google Play Store. Just search for Procyon Radio and TV app on Google Play Store and download the app. You'll be able to listen to our podcast every time and all of the time. But most importantly, are you from a vulnerable society in Nigeria or elsewhere, and you want to be able to get information in respect of how Truth to Power? It is a new podcast that is starting on Procyon Radio and Television, and the time is 7 p.m. on Thursday, 7 p.m. on Sunday.